But I don't get it. I'm trying to help you guys. Why am I a threat?
You're a foreigner attempting to buy Russian property. To many, that is tantamount to treason.
Just a video game.
To you, yes. But to the men in power, it is a slippery slope from selling one game to selling all of Russia to the highest bidder.
And here we go.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will bow down before me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies with Nurse New Bully. Me host Leroy, aka the Bayou Barbie, with my co-host.
Okay. Yeah, this is Eli, aka the Sorcerer Burrito Supreme.
There you go. Another Taco Bell reference. We are not sponsored, but one day we will be by them. Yeah, we're back with another episode. And like I said, the reference, everybody knows what happened. It just happened. I want to say congratulations to the LSU Lady Tigers. And of course, you're going to see this all week. It's the hottest controversial subject on the market. But we're not here to talk about that because I don't really care. But don't worry, you'll hear about it.
I don't know what that is.
Don't worry.
She was doing John Cena. You can't.
She was doing John Cena.
Oh,
yeah.
she. Well, WrestleMania.
John Cena. He WrestleMania
yeah.
this week. Yeah,
I watched the match. I saw the match.
Hold on. Let's stop there. John Cena didn't invent that. Tony Yayo from G Unit invented that.
Oh, we knew John.
Yeah,
John
we know.
Cena didn't get popular until he started acting like a rapper and shit.
Pretty much. So yeah, shout out to Tony Yayo. But yeah. So
I remember when he was running around in just booty shorts.
Exactly. Eminem was hot at the time, so he was like, let me just do that. So yeah. Anyway, but not only did the LSU Lady Tigers, we also want to say shout out to baseball season because baseball season just started. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. I don't know about you. I'm excited.
That was pretty cool.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know who played
day
that game
in years.
Exactly. I don't know who played that game, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, we're back. So like I said, we're just gonna jump into it. Oh, Eli, did you want to talk about some stuff that happened for you this weekend? Yeah.
Let me get.
Eli had an adventure this weekend.
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to Izzy. He was one of the Geek Savs when I used to do the Geek Savs podcast, Native Nerds podcast. Yeah, he had a fight last night, MMA fight, his first MMA fight in years, and he won in the first round, like a minute and a half into the first round.
Nice. Is the fight online anywhere? Or?
It was on pay-per-view. I guess it was Aftermath.
Oh, okay,
it was actually on pay-per-view and shit.
So
yeah, this is he hasn't fought in a long. He used to do this. I mean, he's done like jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai bouts here and there, but as far as MMA, it's been a long time since he's done that. And he was at a higher weight class, but he got down to like 170, which is like welterweight, or is that middleweight? Welterweight, I think it's welterweight.
Okay.
But yeah, this is like the thinnest he's ever been. He's looking all swole and cut, looking all like he could do porn now.
He just needs the mustache. That's
just oil him up, man, and throw the camera and do some OnlyFans. But no, it was cool. It was yeah, he went out there and got it done. It was pretty cool. I was quite proud. He's my nephew. He's my nephew. So it was cool to see him go out there and do his thing and yeah, get the W, and the whole west side of St. Paul was there cheering him on. A couple of other of his teammates fought as well. So yeah, it was a cool night. It was cool to see him get back in there, get back in the cage and get a win, you know. So yeah, pretty cool. Shout out to Izzy.
Shout out to Geek Savs.
Shout out to Geek Savs.
Yeah.
You know. Trav, Fat T still does the page. He still uploads stuff. But yeah, we haven't like recorded an official episode ever since Outright Geekery, the site crashed. Because shout out to Outright Geekery, they're the one who put our pod out all those years and shit.
Right, and this pod out all this.
And this, yeah, Yeah.
And the one before this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Fat T. He held it down. He streamed something on Geekstab the other day. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
he's streaming,
he's been on Twitch. He's saying, I guess he's getting views on Twitch.
he was on it for a while. I
Yeah.
clicked on, like, let me see what Fat T doing. I clicked on, like, hours later. He's still on. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
okay.
I guess people were all chatting it up in the in the chat, and he was busting his games on Twitch.
I'm like,
so
shit, I need to step my game up then.
I forget what his name is. It's True 2K. What is? I'll figure it out.
Tell you what, just drop the link on the page. Just drop.
Yeah, I'll drop the
Countable
link.
to drop the link there.
Hey,
Yeah.
Fat T,
we
if
got
you're
you shut,
listening, drop your Twitch account. I forget what it is. Is it Fat T, or is it actually True 2K or Beast something or something Beast or something? I can't remember.
We will send a link or something like that. But yeah. All right, so we're going to get into it. Like I said, neither one of us. Well, I didn't go to the theaters this week. I don't know what the hell happened. I do know that the number one movie this week was D&D, Dragons and Dungeons.
Dragon.
Did I fuck that up?
Yeah.
I'm not into it like everybody else is. Like this Geeks and Comics is, that eat shit and breathe. But I was casually into it. I remember the cartoon. It was like right after Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I'm like, yeah, it's okay, And that was it. That's all I really know about it. And there was an episode of it on Community. That's all I know. So as far as anything else, I'm oblivious to it. But I'm glad it made number one. I think it beat John Wick this week. So,
Yeah.
That's pretty tough. But what we did do, well, not together, but I watched it because I just found out he watched it. We did watch a movie this week, and it was on Apple TV.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of people don't have Apple TV. I don't have Apple TV. How to get my hands on Apple TV? Because I think I bought something at Best Buy and they gave me like a 30-day free trial. But it wasn't this week. It was like 2 months ago, something like that. So I said, I'm going to hang on to it and wait for it until Ted Lasso season 3 drop. I was like, hold. And then Ted Lasso season 3 dropped. I still ain't watched it yet. But I will. I'm going to get around to it. But while I was there, then I heard that this Tetris movie dropped like a week after Ted Lasso. I was like, well, shit, that's 2 for the price of 1. So I can actually watch the Tetris movie and see what's going on with that. So, yeah. So like I said, I didn't know anything about a Tetris movie. I'm like, what can you do with a Tetris movie? I do want to upload some gameplay that I did. I played this earlier.
I was about to say, does this count as the video game section?
I will count it. There is debate right now. There is debate on whether or not this is a video game movie. I am going. It's like the whole is Die Hard a Christmas movie. Is Tetris a video game movie? This is my gameplay. I suck. Look, I'm rusty. I'm out of it, and I was on my iPhone. So yes, I haven't played Tekken in a while. So sue me. I'm trying to get the swing back of it. But yeah, I'm gonna say this is a video game movie. I say this qualifies as a video game movie. Matter of fact, I will even go out on the line and say this is one of the best video game movies ever made. Like I said, that is not a high bar.
We haven't seen Mario yet.
It's the best video game movie until next week. So, yeah. But until then, I'm putting it up there. It's in there. And not only is it the best video game movie, well, the best video game movie, I put one of the best video game movies. Let's put it there. Let's not make it definitive. Let's not have a debate. Well, let's have a debate. Y'all chat it out. What's the best video game movie in the comments? But not only is it one of the best video game movies of all time, it is also one of the best spy thrillers in a few years. I'd say probably this decade.
This decade?
This decade. It's 3 years in. I mean, we're going to have a movie. So I'm going to say the best spy thriller, political Cold War spy thriller of this decade. Yes.
Even better than, what was that Nolan flick called where the guy didn't have a name? They were going back in time and shit or whatever.
Tenet.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I didn't even watch it.
Yes. You didn't watch it? You still didn't watch it yet? Okay. One of these days, I'm going to give another review on Tenet because people are confused about Tenet and they don't understand Tenet. So I'm going to break down Tenet for you. But this is not the podcast for Tenet. Obviously, this is better than Tenet. So yeah. At least you can understand this one. So yeah. Because I didn't even understand Tenet. But I think that's the whole point of it. But we're getting off subject. Let's talk about Tetris. Like I said, this is based. Now, the reason people are divided on whether or not this is a video game story because it's not based on the video game of Tetris. Because Tetris doesn't have a story. There's no protagonist. This is not The Last of Us. This is just blocks. That's it. So you can't make a game about Tetris.
There's no story behind the game. Like there's no lore. It's not like, there's no characters or a storyline to that.
Right. And I'm pretty sure if you go online, you can dig up some fan fiction. I'm pretty sure somebody has wrote some Tetris lore. We're ignoring them. We're just talking about this. So they went to
porn.
Yeah, like get that image out of my head. Now that we wanted to
get that piece right in there.
I can't unsee it now. I'm done. All right, but yeah, what I was going to talk about is that, like I said, there's a lot of things on this movie. So what they decided to do instead of doing a Tetris, like made up lore or whatever like that, they decided to do it based on the true life story of how the game not only was made but was licensed and brought to America and how Nintendo got their hands on it. And I've heard this story like decades ago, and I remember hearing like, that's a wild ass story. That needs to be a movie. And they've been trying to make this movie based on this for a while because, like I said, it's a wild story. If you want to, like I said, the movie is sensationalized. There's some stuff that's real, some stuff they just like, fuck it, it's a movie. But if you want to get like the real life story, there's a YouTube video made by, I think, the Game Story. And I watched it last night. And it's a lot of stuff that happened in it that's straight from that. So I do appreciate that. Now, what do I like about this movie? What I like about this movie is that it was pretty much about the whole legal battle and contract disputes of that. However, they made it interesting. They kept energy in it. And I was like this could have been boring when you just talk about contract disputes the whole time, but they had energy the whole time in it. Had these Nintendo 8-bit graphics going on, a lot of movement going on, camera movement. Taron Egerton, that dude from Kingsman? That's the only thing I've seen him in.
Yeah.
He was awesome in it. He made it seem like a video game salesman in the 80s was like the coolest thing ever, you know.
Yeah, he's his acting chops are he nailed like the businessman, American businessman accent.
He even wore cowboy boots. Now, I don't know if the real guy wore that, but yeah, he wore cowboy boots in this. So
with the 80s porno.
With the 80s porn stash,
I keep
yeah.
seeing porno tonight. What the hell? the Magna PI mustache.
Even Magna PI had a porn stash. We all knew that at the time. So yeah, that's why he was so popular. But yeah, so that's what. So yeah, and when his whole dispute behind that, and at the heart of it, it's a great theme. But it's a lot of stuff going on in this movie. Like I said, it is a political thriller. It's just a guy just trying to sell video games. That's all he's trying to do. But he put his house on the line, put his money on the line. He got to deal with the biggest video game company at the time was Nintendo, and they might still be at this time if we want to be honest with you. So he has a deal with them, a lifetime deal, and the only way he can get this deal done is to go into the USSR, Soviet Russia in the 80s. And anybody knows anything about Soviet Russia in the 80s, that's the last place you want to go.
Well, yeah, the USSR doesn't exist anymore.
Right, the USSR doesn't exist. Sorry for our younger listeners that don't know what that is. You know,
that was a big deal when that was when that country fell. That nation kind of fell. It was like, oh shit, yay! But now here we are, 30 years later, and Russia's still a thing.
Right, being assholes, trying to invade other countries, but
a threat, yeah.
It's like they're trying to come back, but anyway, we're gonna go with that. But the thing was, like back in the 80s, USSR, and it almost seemed like Taron Egerton character, what is it, Hank Rogers? It almost seemed like he was oblivious to Russia, like he really didn't understand how Russia worked, you know, because he just like, oh, I'm gonna just get the rights from Russia. I'm gonna just go to the video game company that sells it.
Oh yeah,
but video game companies didn't exist in Russia at the time. So if you walked into any building that was, you know, that sold electronics, it was a government building, which meant he was walking straight into the KGB, you know, not know what the hell was going on. So I thought that was pretty cool. I said, I'm spoiling this movie that happened 40 years ago in real life, you know, but the fact that he was all of a sudden was in like this web of spies, and the whole movie had a theme. It was communism versus capitalism. That's the whole point of the movie. Like Gomer would eat this movie up. He would love it. Oh, yeah. So Gomer, if you're watching this, go watch.
And how they're both kind of fucked up.
Exactly. That's the whole point of it. The movie wasn't painted like in any 80s movie we saw. It was like capitalism, good, communism, bad. That's how it was. This movie wasn't that. Yeah. This movie was showing there are shades of gray to both sides. There are shades of gray to communism, shades of gray to capitalism. What I did notice is that in this movie that only the evil Russians were the ones that were kind of like into capitalism, the ones that converted to capitalism, like that bad guy would have like that. He was in it for himself. He didn't give a shit about Russia. He was like, Russia's gonna fall anyway. Let me go ahead and get my money before I'm out of here. So they basically made him over the top evil. You know, meanwhile, the other good communists that was for Russia and for communism, they weren't painted a bad light. Now, at first, we didn't know how to take them, but eventually we were like, no, we're good. You can trust us. Oh, so I did like that. One thing I did notice, one of the main evil bad guy of the movie, because they did just straight up have evil bad guys in this movie, was Robert Maxwell. Real guy. Robert Maxwell was a real guy.
Mhm.
I did some digging up on this guy. So apparently Robert Maxwell is the father of Justine Maxwell. I might be screwing her name up, but the name sound familiar? Okay. She was partners with Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn. I did not.
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah. That's the real thing. They left that out of the movie, but yeah, that's her father. So yeah, that whole child trafficking sex thing. So that's why they went over the top, made him an over the top villain. Apparently he died $5 billion in debt. He might have been assassinated, might have got drunk over, but we don't know what happened to him. But anyway, his daughter's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And he didn't kill himself
Vic,
either.
what's up? Yeah, Jonathan made the shit go crazy. Yeah, Vic, we covered it last week. Honestly, Eli, I think I need to eat my words. I think I need to eat a cheeseburger on that. Because I said that we were going to be done with that. We were all going to be Men in Black to forget about that. And apparently people have not forgot about that. If anything's got worse.
The
Jonathan Major shit. Yeah, it's probably gotten worse since it was last week. But like I said,
his
thing.
It's still in the news.
Yeah. I'm over it. Whatever they do with him, have at him. I'm over it. I don't really care. Because the thing is, whatever happened to Jonathan Majors, we will never know. We don't. They can release all the video footage, release all the text messages. He works for Disney. They can CGI this shit.
Yeah. And
especially with this AI shit right now. I heard a Jay-Z song the other day that ain't even made by Jay-Z. So, because AI can do that shit now. So, yeah. Anyway.
And everybody who is all like, recast T'Challa, well, shit, recast Kang.
Right. There you go. divert your efforts for something for worthy cause.
Whatever. They're going to do what they're going to do,
They're going to do what they're going to do. But let's go back to Tetris. Yeah. So, like I said, Tetris had a lot of shit going on. It was communism versus capitalism. They were both shades of gray to both of them. There was other things going on also, like this bromance between him and Alexei over there. Just the fact that Alexei couldn't make a dime of it, and all that was real. Because, like I said, it was 1980s communist Russia. You weren't allowed to own your IPs. You weren't allowed to sell your IPs, so he couldn't make a dime. Everybody was making money off his shit except him. It got so, and Tetris got so popular in Russia, they even said that they had to basically ban it in Russia.
It was like working for Marvel or Disney. Oh,
that's a crime. No, it's communism.
No, it's capitalism. We own it.
I wish you tried to get a crash. She was still trying to get a cash grab. Who? What? The white chick keeps choked this shit? I guess. I don't know. I feel like she would lose out of this more, reporting them or whatever. But yeah. What we talking about? Yeah, like I said, it's communism. You couldn't own IP back then. And I didn't know that, because I already knew about that. He never made any money off of it. I didn't know he made it out of Russia and he became a millionaire. So I didn't know that part of it. So that was pretty cool at the end. So yeah, at the end of the movie, all this stuff did happen. He paid, like, once he sold the rights to Nintendo, he paid money to get him out of Russia. And they started their own video game company. Now both of them own Tetris. So that's all pretty cool right there. So another thing, like I said, they took creative license. Like I said, he had the cute translator chick that was following him all the time, brought up to the room, shit like that. I don't know why it didn't just click to me. She's a spy. Cute Russian chick, spy. That's the rule. I've seen every James Bond movie, and that shit didn't click to me. Of course, this Agent Triple X. Of course it is.
Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade.
Exactly. She's Russian. She's cute. She's blonde. She's evil. Just know that. So yeah. But at the same time, he wasn't paying attention. Like, cute blonde chick, you're not thinking about that. She's evil. What did Magneto say? Never trust a beautiful woman, especially
in a smile.
You. So yeah, what is that? And now a lot of people have controversy about that. The car chase at the end. When the creative Tetris was had the CEO of Nintendo of America in his back seat, and they would in the back, Alice basically doing like a Born Identity chase scene between KGB assassins trying to get them and shit like that. Of course, that didn't happen. Of course it was video gaming, but I didn't care. It punched up the movie, stuff like that. So of course you're going to take creative license, as long as it's fair, as long as it's fun, and plus they had the Russian chick singing Holding Out for a Hero.
Yeah.
That's one thing I got to love about this movie. I love the soundtrack of this movie. Not just the actual like 80s music popped up, like Final Countdown pops up like that, but the actual Yeah, like, I love that song. But come on, you gotta love this. I forgot you too metal.
Yeah, I hated glam, and that was who did that? White Lion? No, not White Lion.
Europe did that.
Europe.
I looked it up. Yeah,
Europe.
I only found that out today because I looked up.
I'm getting my glam metal mixed up.
It's all the same. It's all hair, whatever.
Oh, Europe. Yeah, they also did Cherokee. That Cherokee song. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't mean to trigger Eli, but
yeah.
Yeah, but I love the soundtrack of it. Like I said, not the 80s dad rock, but also just the actual sound of it because it had that 80s synth in it. Matter of fact, whatever I gave Cocaine Bear, I'm knocking it down a point because of this movie. Because Cocaine Bear didn't do the 80s synth where you just know it's the 80s just by listening to the music. This, you could tell it was 80s by the synth music. Like it felt like a guy in the background, with a keytar, playing the soundtrack and shit like that. So I'm like, okay, exactly, because that was popular back then. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's it. It just felt like it, Oh, what did I talk about this movie? Like I said, I just like it. Just it had some lines I just like when the CEO of Nintendo was like, "Oh, we got to make sure Atari will get their hands on this because I hate those motherfuckers." That's like I can picture them saying this shit back in the 80s. Just I almost wish they would have had like an evil Sega and Atari like CEO like battling with them also, but I guess they didn't do it because it was like it didn't have the time for that.
It would have been funny, yeah. I mean,
it would have been fun, like an evil Sega dude just showed up,
yeah.
Crush Nintendo, shit like that. So they're like, if you're gonna go 80s, go full 80s. But like I said, they wanted to go for the full spy Cold War because it did feel very golden eyed to me for a while. Just the whole back they were going backyard, making backyard deals and stuff, and I was loving it. So yeah, like I said, I watched the movie twice.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched the movie twice. I highly enjoyed this movie. I'm gonna get a 4.5 out of 5. Eli, I think I enjoyed it more than you did.
I think you did.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. Yeah, I was aware of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was an interesting story. Seeing it play out, I don't think I was as engaged as you were. I didn't feel because it did just feel like it was just facts. This happened and that happened and that happened. It was just fact, and you kind of know the story, so there wasn't.
I mean, yeah, because eventually he's going to get the rights.
Yeah,
otherwise,
I mean, we know the history.
We played it.
Yeah, yeah. So I wasn't like very engaged with anybody or what was going on, but it was interesting to see the story play out, and it did. Yeah, nostalgia. We had the Game Boy with
right,
Tetris.
Because that's the thing. Like there was a clock on the clock. Like I said, you got to get this deal done before June because that's when we're going to launch the Game Boy. So if you don't do that, and plus that line he said about the Game Boy, he actually said that in real life. He was like, if you put Mario in the Game Boy, sure, you'll sell this shit to like 100,000 kids and they'll have fun with it. But if you want to sell it to everybody, you put Tetris in there. So that's a real line he said. Yeah. So I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom got into Tetris. My mom would play the Game Boy.
And that's the thing. Let's talk about Tetris for a second, because I do think Tetris was the first adult game. Now, I don't mean like R-rated blood and titties and shit like that, but the first game that like adults and parents could play, because parents weren't playing Mario and Zelda. Even if they liked it, they were like, this shit is too kiddie for me. I can't play this. So yeah, I had fun playing it, but my dad isn't gonna touch that shit, Yeah. But at the same time, Tetris was okay for everybody to play. Yeah. And it kind of brought everybody into it. Yeah.
We had it in the computer lab at our school. And the teacher who ran the computer lab, I beat her high score.
Wow. Okay. So you like some kind of Tetris, like?
I mean, back then, yeah, it was a fun game. It was just a fun game. It was quite addicting. Like, it was. So I do remember that. I remember the Game Boy. I remember, and I did like how they did those 8-bit, animation transitions and stuff.
Right,
like
when they were like going from car chase and going from like country to country. So because he was basically globetrotting the whole movie. So
and it was like bringing up the video game animation, 8-bit animation. I thought that was cool. But no, it was an interesting story. It was interesting. It was cool to see it play out. I kind of figured like Gorbachev and all that. I figured there was some fictionalized things going on.
Right. And they did try to dramatize it a little bit too much, but all to make it seem like Tetris caused the fall of the USSR. Like they try to, but
Yeah.
they were trying to stop it. You represent everything we hate about the country.
Yeah, there was that theme though. Yes, capitalism versus communism, and both aren't as great as we think. Everyone wants to say, "Oh, capitalism is great." No, it's corrupt, and so is communism. Everyone, that's the answer. We need to take care of everybody. Communism works, but you see how communism works, and
you saw how capitalism worked,
and you saw
capitalism kept screwing him over.
Everyone's just kind of
because everybody was cutthroat. Everybody was out for themselves.
Yeah, money is just the root of all evil, or whatever.
Right. And I do like how they try to make it seem like every capitalist is an asshole except for Nintendo. they are the good ones. So
but it was just how everybody was just sort of plotting and scheming, and how Russia had no idea that the rights were being sold, and this was being sold all over the world. And
they didn't even know what Nintendo was.
Yeah, he didn't know what.
And
Nintendo
he was like, "Are you joking, right?" Like, no, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, this is only on PC. This is only a computer. Or what was that scene where it's like, this is just a computer or whatever?
Right. Because the dude screwed them over. He was like, they don't know what a console is, so I'm gonna just say it's a computer. Because what's the difference between a console and a computer? Like, it's harder to find that now.
Yeah, like because
even how they describe it back then, you can describe it now. Okay, so a computer has a keyboard. Okay, my Xbox has a keyboard. So it has a processor. It has all those things in it. So, So when he signed that deal, he kind of screwed them over. But at the same time, it was legal-ish at the time. And I didn't know that the Tetris game that I had on Nintendo was a bootleg. The movie showed me that. Like that Tengen shit from Atari. I had the game. I didn't know. I bought it. I played it. I was like, it's fun. Shit like that. And then now the game is telling me, no, Atari wasn't allowed to sell that shit. So, I don't know. So
I thought it was all right. It was interesting. It was an interesting story. It was interesting to see it play out. And I was vaguely aware of what happened, but it was cool to see, it dramatized the way it was, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, it was like a conspiracy espionage thriller or whatever about a video game, about making of a video game.
And then when he said, like, I'm just trying to sell a video game. What the hell, man?
Yeah, them trying to get out of the country and shit.
He signed a deal. He was like, get out before they come for you,
Yeah.
So
I'll give it a 3 out of 5. It was worth the look.
That's cool. Let's go. Here's my thing. Anybody that's interested in it, if you don't have Apple TV, go look up that game story in YouTube video. It's about an hour long, but it's basically like a documentary on basically everything that happened in this. So they go by the names, tell everything that happened, and it's more realistic if you don't want to get car chases and KGB assassins and sexy, spies and shit. They could cut their throat. But
guys getting beat up in the board meetings.
Right. Like, what the hell? Like, we know none of this shit happened. Right.
They're signing the business contract. Right.
He headbutted the guy right before he headbutted Maxwell in it. Of course, that shit didn't happen, but So all right. So what do we got next? I think it's gonna be on you, Eli. We're gonna go to this. I'm just lean back on this one because I'm kind of lost on this one.
This is just, it's not even quite confirmed. It's in the works. It's not official yet. So this is according to Fangoria and maybe Bloody Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
They said that a X-Files reboot is in the works. This is coming from Chris Carter, the creator of the X-Files. He's saying that Ryan Coogler is going to be in charge of it, and he's going to bring a whole new reboot with new characters, more diverse characters, and just do what he wants with it. I'm like, cool, whatever. I was a huge X-Files fan back when it came out. I watched that show religiously until the movie came out, when they kind of confirmed the mythology. They kind of confirmed some things, and I kind of lost. I watched it for like maybe a year or two after the movie, and then Mulder and Scully left, and they got new characters, and I just kind of lost.
Robert Patrick, got Terminator,
I kind of lost interest after, and then it got canceled. Then it had some spin-offs, Lone Gunman, and Millennium was actually a kind of sort of a spin-off. It existed in that same universe, and they revived it a couple times since then. Like, they revived it a few years ago, and it wasn't bad. But yeah, the Mulder and Scully storyline is so wild now that whatever. Yeah, if you're gonna reboot it, go ahead. I know there's some backlash. No, don't reboot it. It's gonna be the original. Like the original ain't even the original anymore. Like Mulder and Scully has a kid with superpowers. Like, you know, it's totally outrageous now. You know, they kind of ran out of storylines and stuff. But it was like a you know, it's been the X-Files sort of idea has been sort of copied ever since. A secret government agency that investigates paranormal, supernatural activity, you know, that's classified or the government wants.
That's
you know,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's,
right.
that's the BPRD or whatever.
Right.
You know, Hellboy and all that stuff. I mean, it's that whole scenario has been, you know, it was X-Files was highly influential. And it was basically about conspiracies and real life phenomena. You know, it was kind of like a monster of the week. They dealt with like a monster conspiracy of the week, but there was an overall like mythology about Mulder's sister being abducted by aliens. And then it is revealed that Mulder's father was a part of this secret government agency that was trying to facilitate a cure for an alien virus. Yes, there were aliens on the show. They were secretly involved with them because another alien virus, they were trying to like come up with a cure to battle this alien virus. And they were working on cloning and fucking with people's DNAs and went in all the kind of conspiracies and shit. And then once the movie came out, it kind of confirmed that there were aliens on Earth the whole time. That's when I'm like, yeah, I kind of checked out after that. It was like, okay, that's the story. But they kept it going on for another. By that time, it was like season 5 or season 6. And they went on for like maybe, I think, how long did it go on for? At least 10 seasons? They went on for a while. So I lost interest after a while. Like I said, Mulder and Scully, they got rid of Mulder and Scully once and tried all new characters. You know, so it's been, you know, and then they brought him back a few years ago, but this is supposed to be a fresh reboot. And I'm like, hey, Ryan Coogler knows what he's doing. You know, and this day and age with all the conspiracy theories we got going on, you know, Pizzagate,
Flat Earth and shit like that.
Flat Earth and Pizzagate and lizard people and shit eating babies or whatever the fuck these people believe in.
Oh,
you know?
let him have an anti-vax episode.
Oh yeah,
shit.
yeah. Anti-vax,
Just go nuts with it,
5G and fucking, yeah. You know, January 6th was all a hoax and shit. All that, you know, they could have a field day right now. This is, I think, you know.
Hell, Cooper don't need to write this. Alex Jones needs to write this.
Yeah.
Just let him go nuts.
Yeah. I like whatever. I'll check it out. You know, like I said, the Mulder and Scully story has been played out and kind of got too outrageous in the end. Make up some more characters, you know, make up a new, take it in a new, make it new for a new generation. You know what I mean? I think the timing is right. You know, that seems to be a thing now. Conspiracies are in vogue right now. So I think the timing is right.
The moon landing, all this shit.
Yes. All that shit. So yeah, that's my thing on it. And I was a huge fan of the original. I love the original. I wasn't much of a conspiracy theorist, but I did find it fascinating. I did think it was, you know, the whole "don't trust the man" thing.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I was a huge X-File fan. You know, yeah, X-Files, not porn. Again, back to the porn thing.
X-Files, not X-Hamster. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm all for an X-Files reboot. I'll give it a look. You know. So.
Cool. All right, we're sticking with you. You're still on you. Okay. Yep. We're gonna talk about Scott Pilgrim, even though I know I sent you this link.
So why'd you send it to me?
Oh shit! I guess it's back on me then. I kind of forgot while I sent it to you. Let me. I think I took
when you sent it to me, I thought you were sending me because like during COVID, there was a bunch of table readings. Like there was a community episode where they did a table reading and shit.
Right.
Like an online table reading, and then there was a Scott Pilgrim table reading where everyone did from Zoom, read the script. You can check it out on YouTube. So that's what I thought you were sending me. You were sending me some YouTube.
No, this
thing.
this ain't that. This isn't that. I'm trying to see if I can find. Yeah,
I guess
okay.
it's an animation. They're doing an animation.
Yeah, I think they're doing animation. I was about to say radio show, podcast. I could. Yeah, voices
the
of
same
okay.
voices?
So anime. Okay, let's talk about anime for a second. Anime is not in the West. I don't give a damn what you're doing. You just can't slap anime on shit just because it sounds cool. No, anime is in the East. If it's West, it's a cartoon. So they're making a Scott Pilgrim cartoon, not anime.
Cartoons are for kids.
Exactly. Like
It's
graphic
animated.
novel.
It's
We
an
don't
animated
review
show.
comics. We review graphic novels.
Yeah.
No, it's a fucking comic. That's what it is, a comic book.
It's a funny book.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what's going on, right? What we got on subject. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. They're doing a Scott Pilgrim cartoon with all the original people back. So that's
Yeah.
all I got.
I may or may not check it out. I did love the movie. I thought the movie was a lot of fun. But I also blame it for the rise in hipster culture.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have the good with the bad. I'm just trying to see where it's going to be. It depends on where it airs. Like if it's on Netflix or Amazon Prime or some shit like that, maybe I'll check it out. If it's one of those weird ones like Paramount Plus or some shit, or like.
But this might be nostalgia for those hipsters. I mean, they're like what, in their 30s now?
They're 40s.
They're in their middle age now because
when this movie come out, like 2008,
2010, 2009. And I was in the Twin Cities. This was like a huge hipster fucking town.
So it was a movement then. Okay.
Oh yeah, it was annoying. I'd be at the metal shows and motherfuckers in their fucking cardigan sweaters and winter hats in the winter, in the summertime, complaining that I don't know why I'm here. I don't like metal.
And Scott
Get the
Pilgrim
fuck out of here, then you.
It was a cultural movie. It was a brand at the time.
Oh yeah,
He had a movie,
handlebar mustaches and
But I'm saying you had a comic, like it came from a comic. So yeah, it's a comic book property.
They're double-decker bicycles and they're fucking
monocle and shit.
Yeah, big ass, yeah. Wearing big giant librarian glasses and shit. Yeah.
So yeah, it had a video game at the time. Like Scott Pilgrim was a brand at the time, like really hit. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I got with that. So it's back on me. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. So let's talk about our boy James Gunn. Everybody's pissed at him right now. One thing people are pissed at him right now because he doesn't know who Logan Lerman is. So they want him gone for that. I mean, I'm with you. I don't know who Logan Lerman is. So yeah, but apparently people won't think.
I was about to. I don't either. I thought you were about to tell me.
I mean, not really. He's a guy that did a thing that they kind of want to be Superman. I saw the guy. I was like, nah. And basically, James Gunn's like, I don't know who this guy is. Apparently, he played in what was that movie? Poseidon's Adventure? No, that's from the 70s.
He's an actor?
He's an actor. That's from the 70s. What's the shit? Poseidon's Son? It's one of those kiddie, not Hunger Games, but one of those movies.
Something, yeah. Percy
he was
Jackson or something?
That's what he was.
Yeah, okay.
He was Percy Jackson. Okay, so he was Percy Jackson in the movies whenever the hell they came out. And now I guess people want him to be Superman. And Jane looking like, I don't know who that guy is. And they're like, you know who Logan Lerman is? Poseidon's Adventure? You're canceled. Fire this guy. I'm like, what the fuck? He don't even look like Superman. He just like some dude. If anything, he looked like John Wick like 40 years ago. He looked like he could be John Wick Jr. That's what he looks like now.
Timothy Chalamet or whatever. That's
who it's gonna be. Yeah, they all look the same. Is that racist? I can't say that. Let me not say that. Like just make them on a factory, just crank them out. So shit. Just pick one. You Superman. Let's go. But anyway, what are we talking about? We're talking about James Gunn. Okay. Because I'm gonna praise James Gunn for something he did. I think James Gunn is hyping me up too much, just like he did you, Eli, with Right World. He did something to me that triggered my fanboy senses. So he tweeted Terrifics 25. I'm like, oh shit. Are we getting a Terrifics? Is he saying we're gonna get a Terrifics movie? I don't know if we're gonna get now. I gotta explain what the Terrifics is. Terrifics was back in Dark Knight's Metal when they started cranking out all these new superheroes, but they were all just Marvel ripoffs. Like you had Damage, which was just a Hulk ripoff. You had Sideways, which was a Spider-Man ripoff. Now Silence was cool. They need to bring her back. She was cool. She wouldn't even rip off. She was just cool.
I remember that.
Yeah, we reviewed that. It was cool. She showed up on Arrow, like on the later seasons. Yeah, yeah. It was. And we had the Terrifics. Now the Terrifics, take a wild guess who they're ripoff of. Of course, it's the Fantastic Four. You got Mr. Terrific because it's his team. You got Phantom Girl on, you got Metamorpho, who has all the element powers like rock and water and air and all this shit like that. And you got Plastic Man. Now, you want to have a hot movies like that? Plastic Man. There you go. Have all the rubbery shit you got for like that. So, like I said, Terrifics was awesome. It was a great comic. It was written by Jeff Lemire, who, like I said, every comic book podcast besides us suck his dick, sideways. But I will say this. Jeff Lemire is awesome. That Rome was awesome. I read Jeff Lemire also. I just don't suck his dick like corn on the cob. That's just me. But everybody
you suck
else.
Corn on the cob?
Yeah, I do. Sorry, pause. I'm sorry. I give me corn on the cob. I'm not eating it this way. You got to eat corn on the cob sideways. Why are we talking about corn on the cob? What,
I bite it.
You take corn on the cob like you take corn on the cob like straight?
No, I bite it. I'm like a typewriter. I don't think it's
like a
sucking.
typewriter. That's how I eat corn on the cob.
Am I sucking on corn on the cob too? I thought I was.
I mean, you're eating, sucking. Yeah, you corn on the cob, but you're not taking corn on the cob like that. I love corn on the cob. Show you how much I love corn on the cob. Yeah. We don't deep throw corn on the cob.
I don't use it with my no hands or nothing.
Say goodnight, Gracie. Yeah, we just got banned. That's another 30-day ban for us right there. I'm not clipping this either. I'm not. This did good. We clipped the last one. We got beeped every other 5 words. Now they think we Def Comedy Jam, so I ain't doing that one. What we talking about? Anyway. Back to the right. Oh man. I know what song we're going out to. Slop on my knob. Like corn on the cob. Anyway. Terrifics. Back to Terrifics. Okay, like I said, it's a ripoff of Fantastic Four. However, they did this when Marvel banned the Fantastic Four. So, like, if they're not going to do Fantastic Four, fine. DC would do it themselves. Now, like I said, I read Terrifics. It's a crazy, wacky book. They time travel, go to multiverses. They meet alternate versions themselves. They have a council of Terrifics, all this shit like that. It's wild shit. So, my thing is, this is the most James Gunn thing that DC has. So, if they do a Terrifics, James Gunn do this. Like, can you picture James Gunn doing a Superman? Not really. Can you picture James Gunn doing Swamp Thing? Not really. Creature Commandos? Maybe. I can see James Gunn getting away with that. But Terrifics is his shit. This could be his Guardians if he pulls this off right. I could picture him just nailing this shit, And who should be... Now, like I said, I don't like fan casting. I hate fan casting. But I will fan cast for this. Who should be Mr. Terrific? There's only one guy that should be Mr. Terrific. William Jackson Harper. JEDI from The Good Place. That need to be William Jackson Harper. Yes, he was in the last Ant-Man movie. Didn't do shit. Probably killed him off. I don't know what they did in that movie. I forgot.
Peacemaker?
No, not him.
Okay.
No, that's the other guy. That's the High Evolutionary. He's going to be the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy. JEDI. He's awesome. Need to be there. So that's my whole thing right there. Like I said, but will the Terrifics make money? Probably not. I don't care. I just want it. Give me Terrifics, Plus, hey, you got a black superhero on there. Black superhero's hot. You're gonna have Mr. Terrific, but don't shit on him like the Arrow shows did. Make him actually cool like he is in the comics. And you got a thing. So yeah, that's all I got. Is it back on me? It's back on me. Damn, we're rolling. Now to the video game section. We're gonna talk about even though we already talked about Tetris, but we're gonna talk more about the video game section. We're gonna talk about The Last of Us. Not the movie or the TV show. We're gonna talk about the video game because the video game just dropped on PC. So we're gonna give a quick recap of all the things that The Last of Us dropped on. So we got The Last of Us for PS4, Last of Us for PS5, Last of Us for HBO, and Last of Us for PC. So this piece of shit right here. So here's my thing. Please, Sony, please stop doing piece of shit ports for PC. Don't stop just throwing anything over there because it's the same PC port that did the Arkham games. No, Arkham Knight, and that was shitty also. Like, oh, not that one. This is what I was trying to look for. Yeah. So you got Ellie looking like that on there, looking like she like so. Yeah. So I could just now they're making fun of me because I spent all my money for this PC. I'm not gonna say how much I spent for it, but I spent a lot of money for it when I could have just got a PS5 and had it look all crispy and sexy and shit, like that. But no, I want to play this. So, like I said, I'm not touching The Last of Us until two things. Until I watch Digital Foundry, because any PC game, I watch Digital Foundry YouTube channel to see how shitty it really is. And until Naughty Dog fix this patch. Because they already put an apology out on Twitter. So they already know what's going on with this. I want to see what they do for that. So that's all I got with that. But yeah, fix your shit. That's all I got to say. David said, can we move on to the next part of the podcast?
Sure.
Okay. Like I said, this is Comic Book Bullies. We're talking about comic books.
Oh, no Mando?
Oh, my bad. I forgot the show came out. we're gonna talk about it. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Mando briefly. So what you think about this week's episode?
It was fun.
Mhm.
It was one of the more fun episodes. The pirates showed up that came in a month ago.
Yeah. Oh man, they killed all the because I like the pirates. They killed them off. They're dead. They're done. So like, damn. But they were fun. They were fun while they were there.
Yeah.
But didn't one get away?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I know he got away from, but I don't know if he got away. I just know him.
Yeah. So they basically most of the episode was kind of like the bureaucratic bullshit that the rebels have to deal with. You
Right.
know, can we go to this moon and protect it from pirates? And well, they're not part of our system yet. Blah 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 blah, and all that. And then they go to the Mandos,
and they don't protect that. So
yeah. So the Mandos go and protect their homies and shit. And it's just an action scene, a big old action scene. I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see missile launchers, from the backpacks,
I mean, if you got a gang of Mandalorians,
Yeah,
and they're finally not getting slaughtered left and right, they're actually fighting. So yeah, have the Mandalorians do some shit,
Yeah. And then it was revealed that I guess Bo-Katan can take off her helmet and basically find balance to the Force or find balance to the way or whatever.
Right. Or whatever, yeah.
She walks in two worlds and shit.
Right. So yeah, so they're gonna use her to like recruit all the Mandalorian tribes, stuff like that. So because she can do this, she can do that. So yeah. So
again, I'm intrigued by that's what I want. I want the story to move forward.
And that okay, here's my thing.
Yeah.
I finally feel like we have a story.
Yes.
We're doing something. We're going somewhere with it, not just with Bo-Katan, because that's interesting also.
Yeah.
But the very end, the stinker ending, when Appa from the Good Place, not Good Place, what's this show called? Kim's Convenience. Yeah. So he found Moff Gideon. Well, didn't find Moff Gideon. Looking for Moff Gideon, didn't find him.
Yeah.
And he realized the Mandalorians took him, or some tribe of Mandalorians took him. So like, okay, now we have a story. Now we have conflict. Let's see where this goes. Before they were just
3 episodes or 2 episodes left.
and it's probably gonna be another episode where we just talk about, I don't know, Ahsoka or some shit. She just pop out of nowhere.
Yeah, like that's been my frustration. Like every time they move the story forward, then they stall it and give us a bunch of shit we don't care about. And that's been kind of frustrating with watching these Star Wars shows. So the whole Moff Gideon, he's still a thing.
Yeah.
On episode 5 or 4 or whatever this was.
Right.
And now is it they found traces of Beskar, so yeah, it points that Mandalorians. Is it Mandalorian? There's theories because yes, there are all these different factions of Mandalorians.
Right. And I think that setting, like I said, they may do a curve. They may throw us a curveball because they set up like it's going to be evil Mandalorians versus good Mandalorians. I mean,
and that's
maybe
kind of been the consensus ever since the Clone Wars. Like when we're introduced to Mandalore during the Clone Wars, they're like a pacifist society. They're a bunch of rich folks. They don't wear armor. They're like aristocrats. They're a bunch of rich folks. Shit. Obi-Wan's trying to bang the Duchess and shit. But there was the Death Watch, like a faction of Mandalorians that wanted to bring them back to their traditional warrior ways. And Bo-Katan was kind of sort of involved in that. And then her brother was a part, and that's how Darth Maul became the boss of them, and they were doing crime shit. But then on Rebels, there was another faction. I can't remember what they're fucking called, but there was another faction of Mandalorians on a moon that were sort of taking up that same sort of, traditional warrior way that the Death Watch was doing. And that's Rebels would be closer to. I'm trying to think of my timelines now, because this takes place after Return of the Jedi. So Rebels takes place before A New Hope. So there could be another faction of Mandalorians we haven't seen that were on the Rebels. You know, they're the ones who had the Darksaber.
Or maybe just make some shit up.
Or they make some shit up.
Yeah.
You know. But I would like to find out what's happening. You know.
Yeah. Like I said, all I know is that we have a story, we have a plot, we have conflict. Other than that, it was just let's do shit. Let's talk about some other people we don't give a fuck about. Do shit. But now we're building towards something. That's all I was asking for.
Yeah, me too. Can you tell a basic story without all these detours? It's like, oh, let's throw. Oh, remember this guy? They had Zeb, which is cool. Zeb was on Rebels. He cameoed on this show. But yeah, that's what I feel like. They get caught up in let's see who we can. Let's throw all the Easter eggs and the references because that's what fans love. But and sacrifice the story, and that gets frustrating. So that's what I'm hoping we get. Yeah. I'm finally intrigued. I want to see what happens. Now, please show me what happens. You know,
it'll cut to somebody else next week. So
yeah, it'll be all about Baba Freak or whatever.
Right. Find out next time.
Yeah.
All right. So that means they move on to the next part of the podcast.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Like I said, it's comic bully. We talk about comic books, and either I'm gonna let you go first. I don't know what you got. Well, actually, I do know what you got because you told me what you had.
Well,
start recording.
I guess I'll do, since we're talking about Star Wars, I'll segue into the Star Wars book.
Might as well.
Jabba's Palace #1.
Jabba's Palace #1. Okay.
So now, back in the day, before the reboots, before the special editions, Star Wars only existed in books and comics. And there was a series of novels that, expanded the universe, expanded, Luke and Leia's story and Han and Leia's kids and all that shit. But there's also books that expanded on the movies. Tales from Mos Eisley, Tales of the Bounty Hunters, and my favorite, Tales from Jabba's Palace. Basically, every character you see in Jabba's Palace and Return of the Jedi has a story. And that book was awesome. Showcased all those characters you see in the background, a lot of cool stories, expanding the universe. My favorite, of course, the Rancor story, which is awesome. That's the book where we see Boba Fett escape the Sarlacc pit. A lot of cool stories in that book, Tales from Jabba's Palace. No longer canon, though. So here's this comic book. And it is all about that one robot in the beginning of Return of the Jedi when C-3PO and R2 get to Jabba's palace and they say, "Hey, we need a new translator, since our master had our other one disintegrated." And then it cuts to that robot being ripped apart. Well, that's what this story is about. It's about the robot that's being ripped apart. I think his name is 89 or something, ATT or something. I can't remember. He's got a number, but it's his story. And it's all about him being a translator for Jabba. But he was like a protocol droid or something. He was like made for he was programmed for like other duties and shit, like a butler or something. But all he was doing was translating for Jabba. So it was like having a big giant gaming computer and only doing using it for a calculator or something. He felt like he wasn't using his full potential, what he was programmed to do. So some Twi'lek guy, it wasn't Bib Fortuna, but it was a Twi'lek. Some guy comes in and he removes his restraining bolt, the restraining bolt that keeps the droids in line, removes the robot's restraining bolt and basically uses him to plot and scheme Jabba. The sort of, take over. He's trying to take over Jabba's business. He's, he's, skimming off the top. He's falsifying reports on the bookkeeping and shit. He's turning some of his enemies and friends against each other. Just kind of plotting and scheming, trying to take Jabba out. But eventually he gets found out. He gets thrown into the Sarlacc pit, and this droid gets ripped apart for his part in it. And that's it. I thought it was just an okay story, but I was really bummed out that this is just a one shot.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So this wasn't like a retelling of an old Jabba story, or this just original?
No, this
So,
was
okay.
a new story, and I'm like, I thought it was going to be a series. Like, okay, this is
Right.
all on Jabba's palace and all the crime and gangster shit going on.
Right.
But this was just a one-shot story, and I'm like, of all the stories you could have told about Jabba's palace, that's the one you decided to tell. So I was a little disappointed. And then next month there's going to be a book about the Ewoks. Tune in next one for the Ewoks. I'm like, really? Like, oh man. So I was a little bummed about this. I mean, the art's cool. They always get the best artists for Star Wars and shit, but I was kind of bummed out. I was a little disappointed. So I was like, fuck it. This is a 2 out of 5.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Something has spike behind it. So
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got? Okay. Next book I'm going to do is Action Comics 1053. Did you read this one?
I did not read this. No.
Okay. Cool. No big deal. Like I said, more super family. Based about the last issue of this series that Metallo had kidnapped a bunch of like white supremacists and basically turned them into Metallos.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with this right now. So yeah, they don't know that, but they about to find out. So yeah, so you got evil Superman versus the Necro Hive. Let's find out what this about. So yeah. So basically the book starts off with Steel. Well, John Henry, he just getting off work. He's getting off work at 6:00. You know, he's texting Natasha. He's about to go home. So okay, let me explain that. So in the comics, Natasha, who is Steel also, is his niece. But in Superman and Lois, her name is Natalie and is his daughter. Small differences. It's different, but they're both Steel. Just let you know. Anyway, we're going to pass that. All right. So anyway, he's texting Nat. Meanwhile, he's being eyeballed and x-rayed by, the Metallo clan. I guess we call them the Necro Hive. And they basically call him alien lover. Because the reason they hate Steel is because Steel is using Kryptonian technology that Kal-El is letting him use to basically, run his empire, and they don't like that. So they're like, oh, you since you're siding with the aliens, we have to take you out. You're a war criminal and humans are at war. So they basically attack him. He steals up, fights everybody. And while he's doing that, that's when Superman and the rest of the Superman family comes also. So you got Keenan, Connor, and Kara. Yeah, with Kal-El. They all fighting the Metallo family, and they're fighting, and Superman's just like, so Superman realized that these guys used to be human, but Metallo did something to him. So he's talking to him. Metallo did something to you, but Metallo is talking through them. So they're like, no, Supes, I can hear you. Just talk to me and tell you what's going on. Basically, what happened is, where's my sister? You kidnapped my sister. He was like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. He was like, fine. You take my family member, I'll take your family member. So they all latch on to Supergirl, and they blow themselves up, kryptonite and everything on her. So they're like, Kara. So she's out. Connor goes for her first. She's out. They're like, kryptonite is just going off through a bloodstream. We got to get her out of here. And Superman's like, okay, we'll go take her to Star Labs and maybe they can get her out of here. But one of those guys is still alive. So I want you to take one of them too. You're like, well, why we got to rescue one of them? It's people that would try to kill Steel and Supergirl. And that's what Keenan is saying in Mandarin. And Superman, of course, because he understands Mandarin also, he's just like, because we got to save him. Because if he dies right now, he will never make this right. If he dies right now, this is the best he'll ever be. And if we save him, we save the planet. And he was like, okay, that's bullshit, but, whatever, I'll take him. So anyway, cut to Lex Luthor. And that's what Superman, I don't know how the hell Superman got in there, teleport. I don't know what the fuck he did. He's there in jail with Lex Luthor. And he basically, look, Luthor, what the hell did you do to Metallo? And Luthor just like, look, yeah, I did it. I sent Metallo after you. But that was before we made that arrangement we had. That was before that. So yeah, I sent Metallo after Destroy Steelworks, but you don't need Steelworks. Steelworks, like, I'm not talking about Steelworks. He came after my family, and he keeps saying some shit about somebody's got his family. So I want you to choose your next words very carefully, Luthor. Why would he think that I had something to do with his sister? And Lex was like, oh, you're gonna use your superpowers on me to see if I'm lying, like my heart monitor or sweat gland or some shit like that. Okay, let's put that to the test. Let's put the superpower to the test, Superman. If I had your powers, I'd be 10 times Superman that you are right now. Now, am I lying? And Superman's like, fuck you, Luthor. Anyway, he's hearing voices in his head, So obviously, whatever you did to him, you got some shit going on in him right now. And Lex Luthor like, wait, he's got who in his head? Because I'm not in his head. Whatever's going on here right now, that's beyond me. So we need to find Metallo and find out what's going on with him. So yes, that's going on. Meanwhile, I'm gonna skip. We're going to Metallo. Metallo did some shit. He's tripping out, and we're gonna cut to the Super family. They're at home, and basically Lois is cussing out Jimmy on the phone, and she's like, her and Clark got to go somewhere, so they're leaving John to play with the kids, or to babysit the kids. And John's like, you know what, Dad, we haven't been home for a while. When we get back, can we play Coney ball? They're like, sure, son, we play Coney ball. And we can play Coney ball with the kids also when we get there. Now, I just found out what Coney ball is. Coney ball is a game that John made up when they was a kid, where he throws a pine cone into space and Superman catches it. That's the game. So yeah. So anyway, the kids ask him what is Coney ball. He's like, don't worry about it. And he just goes to his room. But meanwhile, the girl is watching the news, and she sees all the crazy shit happening on the news, like the riots breaking out, stuff like that. And he has a heart-to-heart with the kid, because the son, I mean, the little boy is just like, look, I didn't know that this was your room. I didn't know this was your clothes. You're Superman's true son. I didn't mean to overstep my boundaries. So they have this heart-to-heart, like, look, I didn't mean to get into it with us. Glad you're here. You're my brother. She's my sister. We all need to get along. You're part of the family. So let's go have, let's go out here and just have fun. So they go out to there, and that's when the girl is missing. She's gone. And they look at the news, and a riot breaking out. Shit's getting torn up all over the place like that. And they're like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, a man has been killed. And they look up, and who's causing all this ruckus and this racket? The girl, one of the super twins. She's just destroying this shit downtown. To be continued. So yeah. Oh, some other stuff about Power Girl, shit like that. I don't care. So yeah, cool story. I'm liking Superman better than the Action Comics. The Action Comics got all the super people in and stuff like that. And he's got his other kids that he just got, stuff like that. But I'm sure to pick up next week. We'll see where it goes from there. So yeah.
All right, cool. What's the score?
3 out of 5, man. I got even 3 out of 5. The only cool part was him talking to Luthor, but that was about it. So yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. Next, I will do Clobberin Time, number 1.
Okay.
So this is Steve Scrope. How do you say his name? Stakoy? No. How do you say his name? I'm getting him, James Stakoy, Steve Scrocy or Scrochi? Anyway, awesome artist.
Okay. Are you familiar with his work?
Yes. He did that Post Americana, one of the best books of last year.
I was like, this looks familiar. I can't remember what it was. Yeah.
He does him and James Stakoy have similar styles, both influential from Jeff Darrow, who was crazy detail, who was influenced by, George Perez and Neil Adams and all that. Very highly detailed work. Just looking at their panels. I mean, I probably spent a good half hour just going through this book just because every panel is just packed. There's so much in it. And that's basically why you're buying it. It's all about the art. But this is his tribute to old school Marvel team-ups, involving Hulk and the Thing, and it's just your classic Marvel team-up. The Hulk and the Thing, they get their, first Banner and Banner's at the Baxter Building researching some sort of doing research on Gamma or whatever with Reed, but then some intruder thief is trying to steal tech from the Baxter Building, and he's dressed up half an Iron Man suit and half like Doom bot or whatever, like a Doom mask and shit. And he has some sort of nullifier or whatever, that basically portal opener, a gun that opens up portals, and Hulk and Thing get sent to another realm by some planet with a bunch of deviants and a evil celestial, and they have to fight all these monsters and shit. That's basically all it is. You're just watching it's all for the action, watching them beat him up. It's funny to watch the Hulk and the Thing kind of engage. Hulk doesn't want to ever, like, the Thing is always like, okay, okay, Hulk. First, we got to start out with a plan. Step 1, we do this. Then step 2, and then Hulk smash, and he just goes.
Hulk has
starts,
one plan. Hulk smash.
Yeah, Hulk just goes and starts whipping ass, and that's all it is. And it's crazy action, crazy art, and that's essentially why you're buying this. So it was just a fun little romp through a classic Marvel comic, classic Marvel team up, Marvel 2-in-1 or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, even the narration. And
I'm surprised they just call it that, Marvel 2-in-1. I'm surprised they just a team up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with the narration and the way it's written, that classic, you know, Stan Lee style of writing. You know what I mean? The very pulpy sort of comic book writing. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I guess next week or next issue, Thing is gonna team up with Wolverine and go to Krakoa. So
teaming up with different. Oh, sorry. I was thinking this was just Thing and Hulks, but it's like Thing and other people.
It's Thing. It's the Thing's book. Okay. Yeah, Clobberin Time.
Okay.
So and like, it's just an excuse to see Steve Skroce draw Marvel characters.
And I'm pretty sure since this is out of continuity, they don't have to worry about a deadline. So he can take as long as he needs to, finish layouts.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's just fun. It was just fun. And you're in there for the art. And just to get that classical superhero beat 'em up story, you know. And next month is Wolverine. We'll see him draw Wolverine. So, and he's going to Krakoa. So we'll see him draw a bunch of mutants. So, yeah.
Nice.
I'd like to see that. So, yeah, this was a lot of fun. 4 out of 5.
Nice. Okay. All right. So, next book I'm going to do is Unstoppable Doom Patrol #1.
I almost got this. But
like I said, I am not the world's leading expert on Doom Patrol, but I feel like, I'll just pick this book up, just see what it's about. There we go. All right. So, like I said, this is almost like it's coming out of Lazarus Planet. It has some ties to that, but they really want you to feel like that if you don't know anything about Doom Patrol, you should be able to pick this book up and you can hit the ground running. So you don't have to be a Doom Patrol expert. It's kind of giving you an intro at the same time while continuing the story that they have. So let's see what we got. It's the classic Doom Patrol team. What do we have? We got Cliff, who was Robot Man, Larry Negative Man, not Eliza. What's her name? Rita, Elastigirl, Beast Girl, we will talk about in a second, and the Chief, but the Chief is a woman this time. When they'll explain it also. So let's get to it. So the book opens up with some monkeys. So yeah, Robot Monkey and Intelligent Monkey. That is not Gorilla Grodd. That is Monsieur Molière and the Brain. Those are the two are. They're part of the Brotherhood. Now, I know you're thinking, they ripped off X-Men. No. X-Men ripped off them. The Brotherhood of Evil came before the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So yeah, and they're trying to put the band back together. Meanwhile, we go to the Doom Patrol, and they are going to Gotham City. And Cliff's like, I hate this town. I hate coming to this town. And Rita is also reading Dangoria. Looks like it. So yeah, little thing right there. Anyway, they go there and they are in the middle of traffic, and everybody's cursing them out like, get the hell out of here. We don't want you. We don't need you superheroes. We got Batman. And Cliff's like, hey, fuck you, lady. And then the Doom Patrol's looking around like, why are we here? They're like another guy that's not here, who is Minto, who is like their another member that they don't show in this book. He's basically telling him that that's another, not mutant. They call them mutants. They call them, what do they call them? Metahuman. There's a metahuman here in Gotham that we need to look out for. And as soon as we find them, we'll know. So they look up and they see, boom, a metahuman crash at the sky with a whole bunch of scientist ninja people fighting also like this. So okay, we need to go to work. Do what we were trained to do, Doom Patrol. That's what Chief says, and they go to it. So we cut back to Monsieur Molière and the Brain, and they find out that Nazi dude, Captain Immortus or General Mortis, whatever his name is, they think he's dead, but basically he's like, look, I don't need you anymore. Your Brain, you got to use your usefulness. So Brain's just like, okay, well, if you don't need you anymore, well, then you're out of here. So he gets ready to kill him. Before he kill him, Monsieur Molière stops him. We'll come back to later on. Back to the Doom Patrol. They're fighting all the metahumans and those ninja scientist gun people. into fighting them, and when they can stop them, that's when they get. That's when Chief is like, okay, look, I'm gonna call it one of my other personalities and says, and as we find out who Chief really is, Chief is Crazy Jane. Crazy Jane is one of the Doom Patrol members that can change personalities to 64 different other personalities, and each personality has a different power, all stuff like that. So she has another power that can scare the meta people, stuff like that. And she's looking to her brain to find out who these people are. So basically, after Lazarus Planet, apparently a whole bunch of people got powers in DC Universe now. So new people popped up with powers, shit like that. So since new people popped up with powers, this new company popped up called Metagenetics. And what they do is just go around and just capture metahumans. That's what they do. And they experiment on them and they sell them. So it's basically human trafficking. That's what they're doing. They sell them as biological weapons. So they captured this metahuman, but this metahuman got loose, and now he's around just destroying shit like that. So they were like, okay, try to take him out, and try to take him out, but nothing's working. The metahuman is too strong, and that's when Batman shows up. Because remember, they were in Gotham City, so Batman shows up. He's like, "I'll take it from here," and Robin. I think it's Tim Drake in the back. And she just like, the chief is like, Batman, what the hell are you doing here? No, you screwing things up, because I'm not here to protect. And basically, the chief is like, I'm not here to protect Gotham City from the mutant. I'm here to protect the mutant from Gotham City, because I already know what you're going to do, Batman. You're going to capture him. You're going to take him to Arkham City, where either two things are going to happen. He's going to break out and become another one of your bros gallery, bad guys that you fight all the time, or he's going to be killed by one of your bad guys. So it's only two ways that happens. Or even worse might happen. He might get kidnapped by the Suicide Squad. He might get taken to Star Labs and become some kind of weapon, stuff like that. Whatever happens, it's going to be a bad thing, Batman, because you don't understand how this works, Batman, because you're not a metahuman. You have no powers. You're a human. And that's when Batman gets offended. He's like, what do you mean? What about the Justice League? And you're like, yeah, what about the Justice League? You got aliens, Amazons, Atlanteans, but you don't have metahumans on your team. You got one metahuman, and he's fast enough that people can't catch him. And Robin's like, yeah, she's right about that, Batman. He's like, shut the hell up, Robin. Then and he went up and so right before he's about to eat one of those scientist ninja people, Cliff is able to talk him down. He's like, you don't want to do that. I understand where you're coming from. We're metahumans just like you. We have a home for you. So why don't you, come with us like that? And that's when the metahuman is like, screw you. I'll join your team, but I got to be the mean guy because that's my powers work. My powers work with me being angry. So, yeah, kind of like the Hulk. But he's not the Hulk. He is the Degenerate. That's his new name. So, yeah. So the Doom Patrol take him with them, and Batman's like, okay, Chief, we'll try it your way this time. And Chief's like, I wasn't asking you, Batman. We're taking him whether you were asked or not. So they leave, and that's it. Meanwhile, we cut back to Peacemaker. Peacemaker's here for some reason. He's putting together a team, a new Suicide Squad team to fight specifically the Doom Patrol. Who they are, we don't know yet. Guess we'll find out another issue. Cut to the Brotherhood, and you got Monsieur Marlier and the Brain fighting each other, and Marlier beats him and squashes brain. The end. So yeah, they got whatever they needed from him. So yeah. Doom Patrol, one of the most straightforward Doom Patrol stories I've read, because Doom Patrol can get weird. Like I said, this is what Grant Morrison cut his teeth on. Yeah. So standard book, not bad. Entry level. I'm thinking that they're doing an entry level first before they get to the really weird, wacky shit that Doom Patrol is known for. So I give it it's a standard 3.5 out of 5. I give it that. So yeah.
Cool. All right, I will do. Now this is interesting. So because of April Fool's Day, Marvel released this only on online on Marvel Unlimited in the Infinity Infinity.
Oh, is that where it was? I couldn't find it. I didn't know I didn't know what this was. Okay.
So this is the Marvel toilet paper comic.
Okay.
Apparently, back in the 70s, Marvel was merchandising everything, including toilet paper. So they printed an original comic on a roll of toilet paper. And so now here we are, 40-something years later, and they decided to release that toilet paper comic digitally.
So it's the same comic.
Yeah, it's the same comic. I forget who wrote it and who drew it, but it is just a little short one-shot comic featuring Spider-Man and the Hulk. The Gamma something. It was called, I can't remember what it was called. The Gamma something. But it's basically Peter Parker is doing a research on gamma radiation. He's doing a paper on it for his class. Bruce Banner happens to be working on it too because he's trying to cure himself from the Hulk. While they're there at this laboratory, the leader shows up in some kind of robot machine and starts fucking up the place. So of course, Hulk's out, starts fighting the leader, and Peter Parker suits up as Spidey and start kicking his ass. And they just kick his ass.
Robot. If it's the 80s or the 70s, that sounds like a Spider Slayer. That would sound like. But that's
yeah. And here it is. Here's like some of the artwork. And yeah, at the end of the story, Spider-Man, like the Hulk runs away, jumps away. You know what I mean? And Spider-Man's like, "Wow, Hulk helped me out during this fight. Maybe he's not as monstrous as people think they think he's like a terror, and maybe he's not as bad as people think." That's kind of where it ends. So again, classic Marvel team up. Another 2-in-1. Only this is
if it was the 70s and 80s, I mean, your two biggest, heroes were Spider-Man and Hulk. So you want to sell toilet paper where you wipe your ass on it, might as well. There you go.
And it's only like it's almost like a newspaper comic strip, very limited panels. There was maybe 20 panels. Like I wouldn't be surprised
if Stan Lee wrote this.
Yeah. The Gamma Gambit. I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, that sounds Stan Lee-ish right there.
But yeah, it was just goofy. I just checked it out just for Marvel. Like it popped up on Unlimited's like April Fools. Here's the Marvel toilet paper.
April Fools, the only day that people online actually fact check shit. So yeah. But all right. What you got? Well, I guess on me. Okay. Let's see. All right. So next book I'm going to do is last book I'm going to do is Iron Man.
There you are.
You there? Okay. Yeah, you bleeped out, but you're back now.
Okay. 4 to 5. Okay.
4 to 5. Okay, there you go. Classic book. So the next book I'm going to do is Invincible Iron Man number 4. Like I said, I missed issue 3, but I'm back on 4, kind of see where it's going from there. And like I said, Tony Stark is broke and somebody else has bought Stark Unlimited, his company. Who bought it? We're going to find out. So, boom, here we go. Oh, and he's beat the shit out of the guy that bought his company right there. So, yeah, we're going to find out. That's what's happening on the cover. Get out of there. There we go. Okay. So, the book starts off with, anyway, the bad guy of the story is Phelon. Not Phelon from Street Fighter. He's actually an X-Men villain. X-Men villain that they created, I think, like last year. He's that guy. But now he's bought Stark Enterprises. So we go to Tony. He basically gives his backstory like that. Anyway, Phelon gave him a message because basically there's been trail of bodies that of Tony's friends, and he don't know who did it. But anyway, this guy, Phelon, is basically telling him, "You got an issue with me, meet me on Wall Street." So he's flying to Wall Street right now. So he goes to the New York Stock Exchange, and basically he's announcing. So Phelon is the face of Orchis. If you know what Orchis is that human, the enemy of the X-Men. It's like X-AIM agents, X-Hydra agents, X-Shield agents. They all teamed up together to take him out. But like I said, he's the face because the real person that runs Orchis is Morgan Taggart. And he's standing up there with Nimrod on one side and Dr. Stasis on the other. And it was revealed that Dr. Stasis is a Sinister. He's another Sinister clone. So, and matter of fact, he might even predate the Sinister clone we know. And that's what he's just like that. He was like, "Oh, hey, Tony, you got my message." And now Tony just says, Mario Marcus and Zhong Wei, they will be avenged. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Tony. But anyway, glad you're here." I'm taking over your company. And he's basically interviewing, having fun, like, oh yeah, we're gonna change Stark Enterprises. We're gonna make it the new company, the new face of the company, stuff like that. And matter of fact, Tony Stark was only here to wish us on because if Tony Stark really had a problem with it, he would say something. Matter of fact, we can talk to him right now. He's right there. And Tony's just looking at him. And he just looked, oh, so you think you're gonna take over my company? Because I promise you that didn't work out for everybody else to try to do that shit. Because Obadiah Stane, dead. Justin Hammer, dead. Hell, it killed me a couple times. So if you think you big and bad enough to take over my company, I'm just letting you know the road that's headed you also. And then somebody just yells out like, why don't y'all just fight over it? Like, just whoever wins get the company. He was like, yeah. He was like, and Phelon's just like, Stark don't want to fight me because I'd kick his ass. He's like, oh, really? Okay, well, how about we take this outside? Unless you're scared and you're going to be the shortest tenure of any CEO in history. And that's when Phelon actually follows outside because Tony didn't think he was going to follow him outside. He was just like, oh, he's going to follow me outside because he doesn't know anything about this guy. He knows like one wiki page and that's it. And he just like, okay, look, you killed a bunch of my friends. So I'm going to tell you right now, either resign as the CEO of Stark Enterprises or shit's about to get real right now. And he's like, a matter of fact, why aren't you on Mars fighting Blob and a Toad right now? You're like, Blob and Toad? I don't know who the hell it is, man. I'm not old like you. I don't know who those people are. You're like, okay. Well, so what do you want with Stark Unlimited? He was like, okay, I want to make it great again. You're like, bullshit. I know what you want. Basically, you're here because X-Men beat your ass so much, you thinking I'm easy pickings. You think you can come after me because I'm easier now. I'm going to tell you, like, that's not going to happen. He was like, well, nah, I'm not looking for that. The X-Men suck. I'm tired of the X-Men. Matter of fact, the X-Men have already been beaten. But that's another story for another time. So now they all size each other up, and Phelon his first blast and blasts him like this big cannon blasts him across the room. So he's like, and he said, okay, everybody got their phones, put your phones out. Let me show you what's going on. Because I'm about to kick Tony Stark's ass right now. And I got this state-of-the-art suit on right now, only for defensive capabilities. And that's when Tony knows what he's doing. Basically, he's trying to embarrass him on social media. So like, I should just stay down, but this guy killed two of my friends. So yep, so he blasts him, absorbs it. He like, this best you could do. And Tony realized what he could do. He like blasts a fire hydrant and realized that hits him. So he realized he could only absorb energy. Anything else like concussive blast or blast actually hurt, he can't block that. So that's when he just picks up like I'm just call it, not a phone pole, one of those poles. Anyway, hits him with a pole in the face. Bam, blasts him, knocks him across the street. Grabs him before he goes, and he realized that, damn, this guy, because I've been so concentrating so much on like Thanos and Galactus, I wasn't even paying attention to this guy, and I let this guy get way too much power. I should have been focused more on him. So he grabs him before he falls through a school bus, throws him into that Wall Street bull that's on Wall Street. So yeah. And then he blows some more bullets at him, stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, this is fun, but let me go ahead and end this fight right now. So he creates like this spirit bomb or something like that, but it's actually a huge ass EMP that takes out Wall Street for like about a second like that. The reason he did that, because he wants to have a private conversation that people can't record with Phelon. He's like, look, I want you to do something right now. I know you killed my friends. I want you to go to the police right now and confess that you killed them. And do we have a deal? You're like, no, let me counter offer with you joining me. So that's when he cocks back, try to punch him. Tony grabs his fist like, no, this is your last chance to surrender, and breaks his hand. He's like, look, I hope I didn't break any of your fingers that you don't need surgery. But if you do need surgery, Stark Unlimited has a great health plan. And it was made by the guy that you killed. So, and he flies off and said, he was like, if you come back, we're going to have an issue. So he flies off. And that's when Phelon just starts laughing. He's just like, well, finally, I have a worthy nemesis. Because the X-Men suck. But Iron Man, I should have been fighting him the whole time. So he's laughing. And when he gets a phone call from She-Hulk, and She-Hulk's like, the people that you just fought, Tony, they're suing you. They don't want you to wear an Iron Man suit anymore. They own Iron Man. And now that you're running around with it, it's like you're actually wearing Iron Man illegally. So maybe we can find a way around that. But until then, we need to figure something out. But anyway, he goes into space. And so Tony has this thing. He like anytime he has like a hard day or a big battle, he just goes to space and just floats. And just floats away. He's like, this is better than getting drunk. And plus, this is the fastest way to get halfway across the world anyway. So when he drops down, he is at Krakoa. And Krakoa is just basically like, Emma, you got some people, a bogey is flying directly at you. He's like, don't worry about it. He's been waiting. I've been waiting for him to come down here for a while because he's late. Aren't you, Anthony? And basically, Iron Man's like, okay, if I got to fight Phelon, I need to keep up with Emma Frost, even though I really can't trust Emma Frost. To be continued. So, yeah. So, what does Emma Frost have planned? We don't know. We will find out. So, yeah. So, pick a book. I'm still enjoying the story. Every one of these books so far have always been a strong 3.5 out of 5. And this one doesn't stop the train here. So, yeah, it's that.
Cool.
So, cool. You got any other ones? Or you booked out?
No, I'm pretty much booked
out. Okay, so, yeah. Yeah, like I said, if you listen this long, definitely like, share, subscribe. I don't know what other, what else we got to talk about. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Like I said, listen to last week's episode. We're still talking about Rolling Fort. They're still fixing stuff up down there. And Arkansas, Little Rock got hit also. They got hit pretty hard.
Oh,
yeah.
And then the other night, a metal show in Illinois, a tornado went through and collapsed the roof during a metal show. Morbid Angel, a death metal band, that I've seen a bunch of times. And one person died. A bunch of people got injured. The tornado came through, collapsed the roof, and it fell on while they were in the show. So, yeah, a lot of bad weather going on. Stay safe out there, y'all.
Yes, they say because this is tornado weather. It's pretty bad. Yeah,
it's still snowing up here. It snows here.
It's every 1 week. One day. Yesterday I was wearing flip flops. Today I'm wearing a coat. So I don't know what the hell is going on. Right
we got another foot of snow the other night. The other day.
If y'all get hit, we're gonna hit sooner or later. So yeah.
Yeah, basically it storms everywhere else, and then we get blizzards and shit. It sucks, man. I can't. I live here. Been living here most of my life, and I'm getting sick of the snow.
Moving Mississippi. I don't know.
Oh, and that's probably our power had been going out off and on all weekend because of the trees, like the heavy snow weighs down the trees. There was like
poles and stuff.
A tree fell down the blocking the road yesterday. A bunch of branches are down in my yard, and powers. Their trees are falling down and taking out power lines, and so a lot of the city, there's a bunch of people without power, like still in the Twin Cities.
Okay.
Crazy weather.
I don't know. All right, we need to make a decision. Next week is Easter. Eli, let's call it for next week because honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might be here, I might not be here, but just say it. Let's.
Okay, sure, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody listening, we won't have a show next week. We'll come back the week after next week. We'll have like a whole bunch of stuff. As far as the Blue Beetle trailer that dropped, tell you what, I will do a reaction tomorrow on that.
Even though I know the Mario movie drops, though.
Yeah, I'm not watching the Mario movie anyway. So yeah.
You're not gonna watch Chris Pratt, man. Chris Pratt is Mario.
It'll be on Peacock in a week now. When it come on Peacock, I review it then. So yeah, and I say how it's so much better than Sonic and Tetris and all this shit like that. So yeah. But until then, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
Talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
Slop on my knob, like corn on the cob. Check in with me and do your job. Lay on the bed and give me head. Don't have to ask, don't have to beg. Juicy is my name, sex is my game. Let's call the boys, let's run a train. Squeeze on my nuts, lick on my butt. The natural curly hair, please don't touch. First find a mate, second find a place. Third find a bag to hide the whole face. Real name Grover, I said bend over. I started to knock, then came the odor. Smelled like mush, shouldn't had a rush. Told her to stop and take a douche. Once she did that, I didn't want the cat, so I vamped out and never came back. Suck a nigga, dick or some. 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 My nigga D Magic said he had to have it. I said just forget it, it's too crabby. Know a little freak in Hollywood, sucks on dick, does it real good. She'll give you money, fill up your tummy. House full of kids, parents all spruggy. Once had her down, backyard ground. Hit it from the back, enjoy the sound. Name undercover, always used the rubber. Till I got caught, fucking with a mother. She blamed it on me, we fought in the street. She pulled out honest all the time, never get caught.